What's up, everyone? It's another episode of A Slice of Love. As you always know, it's your host, Chris Holmes, about to get it in. But today I have two lovely guests. I'm going to let my two lovely guests introduce themselves. So go ahead and tell the audience what your name is and where you're representing from.
Well, my name is Miss Cat. I'm Miss Cat of Miss Cat TV, and I'm from Houston, Texas.
All right. Taz Stansberry, and I'm also from Houston, Texas.
Cool. So on this episode, we're going to dive right in it. We're in the late night hours. I kept Miss Cat a little past a little bedtime. All right, got my little criticism from that, but it's all good. But we want to dive into, like, do you believe in love at first sight? You know, when the butterflies hit, is it just a myth? Is it true? Like, what's y'all's take on this? So which one of y'all want to go first?
Go on, Kat. You introduce yourself first, so let's hear it.
Well, me personally, I don't believe in love at first sight. That's just me personally. I really don't. I think that it may be lust at first sight. You know what I mean? But me personally, I think that love has to be developed. That's just Cat. You know what I mean? Because I remember this question was posed, and I said the only time that I could genuinely say that I had love at first sight was when I first met my kid, you know, like when I gave birth, you know what I'm saying? And it was like love at first sight. But then I even realized to that note that baby grew inside of me, you know what I'm saying, for 10 months. It wasn't like, you know, like, you get what I'm saying? It wasn't like that it just came, you know what I mean? I had felt that baby moving. We connected and bonded. You get what I mean? So even that was a development. Yeah, it wasn't like, you know, that the child just came.
Yeah, so, versus like seeing someone, ooh, this person got a nice little booty, a nice body and shape, got the whole, I'm going to act the fool tonight. So
exactly. So even to the extent of saying like, you know, love at first sight when it comes to your kids or something like that, I think even that relationship is a bond, because you look at the ultrasound, you know what I'm saying. So for me, for Miss Cat, I do not believe in love at first sight. I think it's lust at first sight, but I don't believe in love at first sight.
All right,
that's Cat.
Miss Cat, and she put an exclamation mark on her name. Okay. All right, Taz, go ahead and you have the floor. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to have to play the devil's advocate a little bit.
Well, let me get the horns.
Oh, Lord.
Well, and I say that not to disagree with anything that Ms. Cat had to say, because I agree wholeheartedly that giving birth to a newborn is definitely an instant type of love. And that developmental phase, you know, happens, you know, you get attached to that. But I will also say that there are similar emotions for people who haven't given birth yet, you know, for things that they acquire a love for rather quickly, instantly, at times, like pets. Those things don't grow inside of you, but you get that same type of joy or excitement at the mere thought of an innocent thing that you are now in contact with. Not even just pets. I say that for all the pet lovers, but also when people adopt children, they don't know the children. They didn't grow inside of them. They didn't have that bonding phase. But if you have a love for children, period, I believe it's more so just the purity in the situation that draws a sense of love and passion or compassion for, you know, for a certain individual or thing. So I do believe in love at first sight. It does not necessarily have to be from a relationship standpoint, but I do believe that emotion exists.
Awesome. Very well said. So I'm going to go add even dig a little bit more deep into that. So following up with that question, like what actually develops love? So this question may be a little strange or weird to some people, but I mean, let's go ahead and just open up the doors and just ask and go right into it, because some people believe it's developed in so many different kind of ways, and they may have their own upbringings and perspectives of how actual true love is built. So go ahead and take it away, Miss Cat, on how you feel about this. So how is love developed? Is time, spending is it by spending by gifts? So how you feel?
I think time tells all. You know what I mean? That's just me. Again, this is just my opinions or, whatever. Now I genuinely don't think that it's a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? But I do think that it does require time, some form of time, because what you tend to see, and then, and then I think, like Taz said, I do agree that it's different strokes and different situations that with different forms of love. You get what I mean? So if you're talking about a relationship types love, then that's a difference between me adopting a child. You know what I mean? Because me knowing that love from that child is pure and unadulterated, you know what I'm saying? Then as the adult and as the, as the, the brains of the situation, I guess, more or less, like I can reciprocate that love because I know genuinely that it's, that it's pure, if that makes sense. So I can reciprocate that. But if I'm dating somebody, I got to learn and know confidently that this person ain't trying to mess over me, that, that the love is, I got to actually find that out, if that makes sense. You get what I mean? So I think that the only way for that to truly transpire is through time. Now, sometimes people can show you that a little bit faster, if their ways are more consistent and, they keep consistency. Sometimes, it might take a couple of years because, whatever. So so to answer the question, depending on the type of love and where that love is coming from, I guess that will determine how that love is developed. Because if like I said, if it's love from a child off the bat, because I know that, a pet, it's dogs, you could kick them, cuss them, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Kick them, cuss them, and then they're right back at your feet. You get what I'm saying? So you know that no matter what you do, that dog gonna love you. You know what I mean?
There's some people like that too.
Yeah, well, but sometimes it takes time for you to, to really comprehend and know. You know what I'm saying? Because when you first meet somebody, especially, I got my ways, you got your ways. You get what I'm saying? I have to learn. It takes time for me to really know if that's genuine or if it's just for the moment. You know what I mean? So
gotcha.
I think it just takes time.
I'm sending a prayer up too, make sure we keep all peace into this. No. All right, Taz, go ahead, take the floor. The mic is yours.
So I feel like a lot of the purity of love, whether it be relationship or family, friends, pets, whatever you want to, call it, I believe that it has a lot to do with energies. I do believe that if there is a common energy in the, atmosphere, then that takes a lot of the time factor off, because some people connect instantly. Some people just share that energy. And so I believe there's purity in that. And I also believe that people, if you have previous trust issues, people taint the institution of love. People taint that when they learn how to hurt other people. So that's what you grow into doing. You grow into hurting people, because as kids, you're already taught to these principles, morals, values. You're taught to treat people kind, and these characteristics of how you're supposed to be. So you learn these so-called bad behaviors, or I believe that is a learned thing. So, and I think that transfers over to the relationship side of, the fence. So if a person has been hurt from time to time or have developed trust issues from previous, relationships, then you kind of putting that on the forefront and canceling out the purity of an innocent type of emotion that could truly, be love at first sight. The energy to me is what determines that. I mean, I can't say that, I haven't ever felt that myself personally. I can't say that I haven't. However, I do believe that even if there is an instant love emotion, because that's what love is, it's an emotion that you feel. So once all the behavior is added to it, I feel like you can unlove, or you can, once you learn these, things about a person, then you can determine, well, it's not pure anymore. So you do away with the love factor of it, and either you can accept it, accept that person for who they are or not. But I think the instant thing with the energies is the pure thing, which makes it still love at first sight. Once they show you the negative factors of it, then you learn to either push back from it, or if it's good for you, or if it's something you could deal with or not. And I think we can go as far as saying that with children and pets and animals too. You love that furry animal until it starts chewing up all your expensive shoes, then you hate it.
Then it's got to go.
I mean, we do love our kids all the way, for it's a lifelong love. But, if you try to raise your child to be a certain way and then they turn out to be something totally opposite of what you desire them to be, and it's kind of a struggle to, like, ugh. So I think people taint the purity of it along the way.
Gotcha. So I want to go ahead and add on to this, because one thing that you were both hitting on is when people get hurt, they that pain. And it's interesting you brought this up, because in the previous episode in the group, they brought this up as well, is because of that pain of what that person has done to you, it becomes toxic. And if you don't allow yourself time to heal, you will transfer that energy to the next person who had nothing to do with it. Can be like we were saying, Taz, perfectly fine, pure to the heart, may can possibly be the love at first sight thing. But because you came in with such of a negative vibration, you pretty much toxic the whole, or the possibility of something that could have been, really like genuine and could really blossom to something really big. So I'm gonna flip on the other side. So define lust. What's the red flags? Oh yeah. Oh, she Taz over there just.
Taz ready. You want to take this one, Taz? Look, let me piggyback off you
Oh,
this
she had
time.
to get a drink. Wait a minute. What are you drinking on?
You got some wine over there. Look, you don't know what's in this cup.
You know what? On this one, I'm just gonna let y'all go and just, I'm just gonna take cover, because y'all about to let go of all the red flags you see about guys. That this ain't it. I gotta stay away from you. So go ahead. Go ahead,
I think
Taz.
Taz should go first.
Yeah, go ahead, Taz.
Yeah. Y'all figure I know so much about lust.
I don't know. You over here rolling it up like you done messed up now. Go ahead.
That seems to be everybody's favorite subject these days. So tell me real quick, what do you want me to talk about lust about?
Like, what's the red flag? Like when you can tell it's not genuine, or like what we're talking about earlier about love and like building something, but completely just wanting that.
Well, to me, that's a very, kind of self-explanatory deal. Some people are very vocal about how they feel. And if they off the bat are talking about what they want to do to you, if everything that comes out of their mouth is physical, some type of, physical attraction and all these provocative ideas that they come up with. And, if they aren't genuinely trying to get to know you on a different level. If everything is totally just physical, then that is a telltale like red flag. Like, I think that the part of that is with the conversation. Like, are you really taking the time to get to know me, or does your only interest revolve around, what we're gonna end up doing eventually? Those people who are verbal, it's not even a red flag. It is what it is. You just take that for face value.
Go ahead, Miss Cat. Taz, just put a foot down.
Okay. Well, I agree with that, and then also just to kind of add to that, I think that also the time factor, you know what I mean? That's just for me, because I might, and especially of course, if we're dealing with relationship type, in a relationship type situation, maybe you might think that you genuinely, love somebody until you spend time with them, until you're no, seriously,
No,
like, you know what
I'm
I'm
not,
saying?
because
Until
that's
you,
true into that. Yeah.
yeah, like until you actually spend time with them, get to know their true, character, or true who they really are, or what, whatever. Because of course you think it's love at first sight because she had a fatty, you know what I mean? And she carried herself a certain way, and because she smelled good, and da 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 da. So now it's love at first sight. But then when you talk to her, she can't hold a conversation. She can't, all she talking about is going shopping and how she gonna
When that
spend
light
your money.
exposes it.
Yeah, exactly. So, then I think, the time factor, then, hey, it was just lust, because how can I really genuinely love this person, that I barely didn't even know, you know what I'm saying? So I think maybe time also is a factor as well, because when you get to know that true person, you know what I mean? It's just like, Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't love him like I don't love him like I thought I did. You know what I'm saying? Because time,
Yeah.
let you see their true self.
You put a sour taste in your mouth, like, I don't like that. Ugh. Put it back, put it back, put
Exactly.
it back. So
um,
go ahead, Taz.
I just want to interject real quick because I know that um, sometimes people can spend so much time together and it's a lot of wasted time um, because they even with the time they never find out whether or not they truly love that person or if that is a genuine person. I've known people that have been in a relationship for a number of years and thinking that it was love, and then they find
Yeah.
out that it was not. So I think this is a very complicated um, subject matter, period. And that's why I always that's why I go back to the whole energy thing, because energies don't lie. Like, it's not even if you're not even talking about a affection or love energy, you can be talking about a negative energy. You feel that too, and you pick up on that, with certain people, and it lets you know, like, oh, I don't get a good vibe
Yeah.
from this person. So I think that goes both ways, and I think that a lot of people can be apprehensive. It's okay, if you meet somebody and you have that great energy, but you're a little apprehensive about it because want to take time to get to know them better just to make sure. Just, I think it kind of plays together. What Kat is saying, what I'm saying, everything is like it goes together. A little bit of this with a little bit of that. And ultimately, I think that both parties have to understand that and be willing to explore that.
Well said by both of you. What it really comes down to, what you're basically saying is take out the time to get to know the person, from the
Mm-hmm.
good, from the bads, the ugly, the pretty, and all that much more. Because if you really want to spend your entire life with that person, you're going to have to accept that person for who they are. We all have our different, pros and cons and things like that, but that's what makes each person unique and different from each and everybody else. But, there's always someone that is just for you, and you just got to get the time out to know that person. So I want to flip it around. So help the fellas out. Help us out. So what can the guys do to actually have a legitimate chance of like building a good foundation? I'm going old school for my grandparent teaching, building a friendship foundation. So what can the fellas do besides what they always see on the TV and all that much more? So help us out.
Help a brother out, huh?
Help a brother out.
Help yourself. No,
wow. No, you felt that. No.
Who you want to go with that one, Kat, first? Or what?
Okay, well, if you say you want to take it old school, right? Then take it old school. Take it old school. That's the thing. That's the problem with these youngsters. Look, these little youngsters nowadays, they don't know how to court a woman. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to date a woman. You know what I mean? But then also you women. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, she's saying it. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, a man gonna only do what you allow them to do
That's
to you.
true.
So first of all, I think the man has to have the certain mentality, like, you know what, this could easily just lead to sex. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real. We can just go jump bones and whatever the case may be. But I just realized that, when you do it old school and kind of court and, date, genuinely date. Let's go out to dinner. Let's you don't know where I live. I don't know where you live. Let's not even get the houses involved. You feel me? Let's date. You know what I'm saying? So, gentlemen, flowers, candies. Let's take it back old school.
Old school.
You get what I'm saying? Take it back old school. You get what I'm saying? Dinner, movies. I know we got the COVID stuff going on, but shoot, it's restaurants that's still at 50% capacity.
You better figure out how to use a picnic basket.
For real. Exactly. There you go. You know how to use a picnic basket. You know how to, so get creative. But ladies, it's your duty, as well, to teach them how to love you.
Ooh. Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Somebody has
your duty as
that.
Well. It's not just on the man. You get what I'm saying? I don't like this. I don't appreciate that. Or, oh, you're doing great. Pat, you're doing well with that. Keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? Gratification when they are doing the right thing.
That's
but
two
I
big
think
things,
that
communication and gratification. Yeah. Keep going.
No, I'm just saying. So I just think that, like you said, it's the old school. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have, the old folks, 30 years, 40 years, this, that, and the third, because we've lost way of that. You see somebody that look good, you go jump in the bed with them that night. Oh, girl, she's getting it tonight. You know what I'm saying? Just being real. You know what I'm saying?
And then be like, whoa, I didn't know. I didn't know what I got.
Or look, I might give him one date, girl, but he's just so fine. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, I think the courting, the dating, the building of the emotion that's lost, and therefore we're shortchanging love. You get what I'm saying? We're shortchanging our own selves. You know what I'm saying? Because if this is supposed to be eternity, why do I gotta jump your bones tonight? And I just met you yesterday.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, fellas, it's your job to take it old school, and ladies, it's your job to hold the men accountable. No, we're not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna do that with me. You know what I mean? I like you, but if you want to be in my world and in my space, this is how you gonna rock with me. And I think that is, how things develop, men folk and women.
Go ahead, Taz.
You said a mouthful. I think she said enough for both of us. But the thing that I believe, the two things that I believe is essential is mainly communication, which was already stated. Um, but I think, some people struggle with communication. Um,
I'm glad you said that too.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that a lot of people struggle with communication. A lot of people do not like to be held accountable for things that they feel like may be doing wrong. I think learning how to communicate, period, is a great thing to incorporate in the friendship phase of getting to know someone. And that was the second thing, is just establishing a open friendship. And I believe that if we as people can establish regular friendships that last for many years, with the trust, the loyalty, all of those great attributes that goes into friendship, I think that relationships should not have to suffer, or building them shouldn't have to be such a task if they just if these people just adopt these friendship qualities with one another. And I believe that if a person could take time to build a friendship with a homeboy that they've been to school with for from high school, and they homies all the way up to lifelong homies, why is it so difficult for you to do that with a female? It has to be some unknown man code, you know that maybe you could help us out with that one, that makes it such a struggle, for men to open up to women in these ways. But I really believe that if pride is not such a factor, and you actually feel like you like a woman enough to, want to lay down with her, then communication and friendship is a must.
Gotcha,
Like,
gotcha. So I'm gonna go ahead and key in because you brought up a good point. This is just my point of view when it comes to like the men code. Everybody, everybody has own kind of thing. But I really do believe it does have a lot to do with pride and ego at the same time, because when the fellas get together, we have conversations, and it's gonna be completely raw with it. Be like, hey, I bet you can't get her, man. I'm like, you ain't got that kind of talk, man. You ain't smooth with it. Man, I know you ain't getting up, man. She way too fine for you. So look, I'm being completely raw with it. So this is the talk that we have with our fellas. It's like a competition. It's good. Fellas with our brothers, but at the same time, it can be to the point where you don't really build that relationship that you should with a female. That can be something even bigger. So that is, I'm just gonna say out of truth, that is one of the problems when it comes down to that, and communication. What we were talking about earlier, being completely transparent, what you like and don't like, and then just be complete. Like, what do you want? I feel like there's way too many times where one person's thinking that it's going to go this way, and it goes way the other direction.
Yep.
And then this other person gets offended because they didn't get what they wanted. Then each party is just mad at each other because the expectation is way off, and it's just a complete mess. So having communication, being completely transparent, and just letting each other know like what the boundaries are and what the expectations are can go so much further. And that's from my own personal experience, and then listen to other people as well, because every day we are learning, but that's how you get better. But
Chris,
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and then also to the point of what you're saying with the open communication, you also have to be mature enough to accept what that person tell you as well.
yeah.
Because what happens is, and this is on the female, I'm going to talk from a female perspective, men, so y'all better catch this game. What happens is a man might tell you straight up, hey, boo-boo, da da da, and then the female might say, you know what? Well, I think if I do this and I do that, I might can make him love me, or I can make him, that dude. In some cases, that's the female's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, if I'm sweet enough, or if I'm this enough, or whatever, I can change his point of view. So,
and when you say that, I'm not gonna. It kind of makes me cringe because a person has to be willing to change. Because I've seen
Exactly.
so many people try to, and I know there is some women out, a lot of women out there that like to be, caring, nurturing, and all that, and much more. I definitely feel y'all. But I've also seen a lot of times where they get themselves extremely hurt because the other
Mm-hmm.
person does not want to
Yep.
change, and they waste their
Yep.
time
So
doing it.
so basically what I was just saying is like when somebody tells you what they want, and if they're being real enough to say this is what I want, you have to be mature enough to say, you know what, I respect that, and either I can accept it or reject it. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think that's a part of it as well, because you may want love, but that person might not be in that space. You get what I'm saying? And so you have to be mature enough that when a person tell you what it is, accept it for what it is, or say, you know what, I'm looking for something more, or something, whatever, da, da, da. So, I appreciate you, but I'm going to go ahead and, move around, or, whatever the case may be. So that just piggybacking off what you were saying about being open and honest, because I could be as open and honest as I want to, but if the other party have their own agenda, you get what I'm saying? Then at the end of the day, and that's how things get, entangled and,
Oh
all
God,
messy. We got entanglements
entanglements.
and all kind of stuff going on because people sometimes, a man, especially a real man gonna tell you exactly what he want, but the female gonna think like, you know what, well, you know, if I put it down good enough, or if I cook him the best meal, or
Let me
what,
take some notes on
whatever.
this real quick, since we got
Yes.
to throw on the game real quick. You ain't gonna be
So,
throwing all these.
so I'm just saying. So just open communication, but also acceptance as well. Not just communication, but acceptance of what those people, what those parties say.
I want to add to that because we're talking a lot about communication here, but neither of us have said honest communication.
Very
So,
true.
honesty is major because anybody can communicate a bunch of lies. A pair of lips will say anything. So, if a person is saying that they don't want this or they don't want that, or I'm just here for this or that, but their actions are showing something completely different, then that is grounds for entanglement.
Entanglements.
So as
Entangled.
a female, and Chris, just look, I'm talking to you because we want to put you on game a little bit since you gave us a little bit of the game.
Okay, all right. I'm taking my notepad. I'm giving a note.
Everybody pretty much knows that females tend to be a lot more emotional when it comes to matters of the heart. So a lot of times it doesn't really matter what you say if you are displaying with your actions something opposite. Then we're 9 times out of 10 we're going to go with what your actions are because that's what makes us feel better. As women, we like to feel a certain way. So if your behavior is, leaning more towards, wanting it, even if your pride is making you, your pride is as a man is saying, I don't really want to do that. But your heart as a man is weakening and giving behaviors off like that. Then that's 9 times out of 10, the female is going to play into that. And so it's a big ball of confusion at that point.
So Chris, what that means is for all the men out there that's taking notes, that means you gotta say what it is that you want, but then also act in that way as well. So if you say, you know what I'm saying, I don't want a relationship right now, you know what I mean? Then those actions
Better back it up.
Yeah, they gotta back it up because you start, buying roses and baby this and baby that and da da da. You know what I'm saying? You can't contradict what you're saying. Yeah, exactly.
And that little rabbit gonna be trying to bite it every time. Just put the little device away and go on about your business if you're not really there for that. Because she's gonna bite
every time.
He's gonna bite.
Well said. So I want to go ahead and throw this on a positive note. The importance of having a good influencer or like positive like relationships and marriages and things like that. I think that is something that's very important because a lot of times, especially now with media, to me, in my own personal opinion, I feel like you see so much more of a negative of a advertising when it comes to like black love relationships and things like that. You don't really see like an actual team working together and building a home and things like that. So I feel like there needs to be more focus, or just find someone that you know or has the relationship or marriage that you want and look at that as an influence. So how do you two feel about that, of like the importance of having a positive role model versus what you always hear in just all in the videos and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I think that, it's kind of like like going back old school. You know what I'm saying? When there was a person that wanted to be married or whatever the case may be, you're gonna hang with the married. You're not gonna be out with the home girls that's always hanging up in the club and shaking a backsides. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You're gonna try to attract attract to what you want to be, if that makes sense. So at the end of the day, I do think that if you want to be married, or if you want to be in a relationship, or whatever the case may be, that you should find, maybe in your in your circle, or whatever the case may be, good positive role models and things of that nature, so you can learn those traits, learn what's working. Sometimes you might see what's really not working, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think that it is, pertinent that, they say birds of a feather, flock together. And, so it's like, I'm not going to be hanging with my homegirls that's clubbing every night. I'm going to do something different if that's the goal that I'm trying to achieve. So I do think that that's a positive way to, start on the right foot.
Go ahead,
in my opinion.
Well said.
Mm-hmm. I do believe that what works for one person or one couple may not necessarily work for the next. You have to understand that in these relationships are two totally different individuals first. So those two totally different individuals might be totally different from the next two different individuals. So if Susie's husband and Becky's husband are nothing alike, then what worked for Susie and her husband might totally bump heads if she try to share that advice or whatever with Becky and her husband. I believe that a person should really just get to know who you're with, communicate. And those are some like ground principles, period. Like you have to communicate with your partner. You have to communicate. It's all good to hang out, do the couple thing, couples outing, retreats or whatever. But at the end of the day, some of these couples have just as much problems as single folks.
Yeah.
And it could be quite discouraging for the single people. If you're looking at that, you have some people that's, not so faithful in their 30-year-long marriages. Is that the example that I want to look at?
Entanglements. Entanglements.
All the way real. And will. But what I will say is they found what works for them.
For them, yeah.
And they, even though they have this entanglement, they resolved it in a way that works for them. They came and communicated openly and obviously come to some type of resolution. I haven't heard nothing about a divorce in the works yet. So, whatever. You got to do what works best for you and your partner. It's cool to have the people outside to cheer you on or to be there along the way. But at the end of the day, everybody's situation is totally different.
Big fact.
That's mine.
Big fact, big facts. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up before Miss Cat cusses me out. Be like, Chris, it's getting.
Yes, because you got me way past my bedtime. Look,
Hey,
I'm
look,
too
I'm
old
looking.
for this. I'm too old for this.
So as we wrap things up, I want the ladies to leave out with closing comments to the audience that can help them, find that love life.
That slice of love. Look.
Slice of love. The positive part. So go ahead, take it away.
You want to go, Taz? You got something to take to end off?
She already pointed at you, so go.
I'll go after you. I like, going last.
Oh, Lord, look, I got to end it up. Okay. Well, I think just to conclude everything, let's just put it in a positive note. I think that, love at first sight is definitely an internal thing that I can't tell you if you have it or you don't. I think that those things are personal, you know what I'm saying? And only something that you, and that other party can experience and know if it's true or genuine. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that no outside party can tell you, oh, you had love at first sight or that was BS or, whatever the case may be. I think that those things are personal. You know what I'm saying? So if you find somebody that you met, they match your energy, it's genuine, they solid, that they're, consistent. Consistency is key. You get what I'm saying? Consistency is key, y'all. So you find somebody that's consistent, then, there you have it. Fellas, for the fellas, y'all need to start dating these ladies. Take it back old school. Start dating these ladies, showing them that you genuinely appreciate them. Show them that they're more than just jumping in the bed. You get what I'm saying? More than just a fat butt. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, show them that they're, more than just a sex object. You get what I mean? And that you're interested in more than just their body, but and their mind, and then meaning what you say. So if you say that, I want XYZ, then show me XYZ. You get what I'm saying? Show, again, consistency is key. Communication, those things. So, and ladies, you have to take responsibility as well in this love game. So if a man is because some men will tell you straight up, there are some men that play games, but there are some men that genuinely will tell you straight up, hey, cat, I ain't with all that, I ain't trying to do that, And you have to be mature and respect people for who they are at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And you just accept it or reject it. Everything might not be for you. You know what I'm saying? But on a positive note, love is wonderful, it's real, it's good, but you have to find that right person. And for me, Miss Cat say that take a little time. Not saying that it gotta take 5-10 years, you know what I'm saying? But it does take a little time just for me to, in my opinion, because I gotta know that you are real, that you that you ain't just this way for 2 weeks and then week 3 I'm like, who the hell, did I just fall in love with looking, so at the end of the day, I just say court each other. You know what I'm saying? If you find an instant attraction, court each other. Take it back old school. Build that love. Build friendship first. Friendship first. Friendship first. Let me build a solid friendship that just it's just so seamlessly that just goes. It's just like, dang, we wasn't in a relationship this whole time because the friendship was so strong. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point, I think that love, when you build a solid foundation, the love will prosper and it will grow. There you have it.
Well said.
So
go ahead, Ted.
Okay. I feel like I just want to leave it off with this for those who have experienced love at first sight. Rather than tainting it with negative behaviors or foolish pride and insecurities and jealous, all this negative energy. If it started with a positive energy, cultivate that positive energy, because it then could turn into a friendship, because I do believe that it's a rare thing. I don't think people just walking around falling in love at first sight. So, it's probably definitely a rare occasion that things like this may happen. But in the event that it does happen, cultivate it, with positive, more build on top of it, develop that friendship that Kat is talking about. Let it manifest into something beautiful. For those who are a little bit more careful about the L word, be friends and be married. Just the one thing that I do really appreciate though is the old school mindset. I think when you, in terms of old school, if you want to just look at it from a spiritual standpoint, there's scriptures about this, and everybody may not be into the scripture, but you can't deny the verbiage. If you want to take the spirituality off of it and just read the paragraph, it is what it is. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It's not proud. All of that pride and getting mad and walking away from love, all of that stuff is like right there in the scripture. It keeps no record of wrong. It's not supposed to just harp on negative stuff. You're going to be more forgiving. If you don't know how to identify love, just go back to these basic principles. It don't delight in evil. It rejoices in the positive stuff, the truth, the beauty of it. If you spend a lot of time praising the great things about your partner, your friend, how could it not develop into an even deeper, stronger type of love? It always provides, it always protects, it always has hope, and it perseveres. It's like a whole it's a whole equation for love. Love equals all these things. So if you identify these things in a person that you're with, then that's a great thing. There's no need to tear it down. So I would say to just, plainly put, pay attention. Pay attention to your mate. Look for these qualities, in them. And if they possess these qualities that I just named, is definitely love there. Nobody's perfect. And these qualities may not all be discovered at once. So it's like building blocks. So, I love love, so let's all just love one another and just be married.
But Taz, just really quickly too, just to kind of wrap up put a little icing on her cake and a little cherry on top. When you feel those things and you identify those things, again, relationships and love and all that stuff is personal. So don't let nobody come in and take that away from you. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy to listen to your homegirls, your homeboy, and I think that love is personal.
It definitely is
personal. It's personal. If I could leave with anything, love is personal. So don't let nobody steal it from you. The end.
Well said. We're just gonna drop the mics, bust them. I'm not paying for this. So I'm just leave the mic over there, let insurance do it. But I love all of the comments, the great value, the dimes, the game and all that, much more. This has been another great episode of A Slice of Love, and I had my two lovely guests. Of course, we had Miss Kat and Taz. Throwing deuces. You better recognize, respect that purple hair, though. I had to put it. She was like, wait a minute, let me go ahead and showcase it real quick. That's your top stylist over there. Cool. So make sure that you subscribe, share, and comment below, and just keep the message going, because that's how we all learn from everybody's experiences, and then just keeping the communication going. So that's all we can do is keep growing and getting better with each day. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. This is your host, Chris Holmes, with another episode of A Slice of Love. Deuces.